Hey FPL managers, it's FPL Hawley here, back with another video. Quick heads up before we dive in. This week's video will be shorter than my usual long form content, and I'm recording this Monday afternoon before the final match of Game Week 12, which is Man United versus Everton. So I won't have the full picture, but the majority will have to do as I'm travelling later this week and wanted to get my video out earlier rather than late on Friday. Right? Let's dive into it. So as things stand, I'm sitting on 51 points, all out in Game Week 12. Now remember, there's still that Monday night fixture to come, so this could change. But if it stays like this, I'm looking at a 57k green arrow, which takes me up to 88k overall rank. I'd expect to stay just inside the top 100k, which I'm absolutely delighted with at this stage in the season. I had to make a transfer in Game Week 12 because I'd reached my limit of 5 free transfers. So the Gabriel injury was easily covered, and I went from Gabriel to Virgil. It seemed like a no-brainer at the time, but after Liverpool's horror show at Anfield, I'm already regretting that decision, and more on that in a minute. Now let's talk about the highlights of Game Week 12 because honestly, the double Palace defence came through again for me. Munoz with his goal and a 14-point haul, and I finally got some bench jam with Richards' 6 points. I was happy to hold Semenyo this week because I liked Palace away at Wolves. Now with Semenyo not showing up, Richards off my bench came through for me. Now honestly, one of the best decisions I made on my Game Week 4 wildcard was to go Munoz and Richards. And I've been very fortunate during this period that Ismail Assar has been fairly quiet. Now, holding Enzo as well turned out to be another stroke of luck for me. So he delivered 11 points and was quite highly sold this week because of his flag, but he looked very grateful for that rest during the international break. And I'm now considering not selling Enzo in Game Week 13 as I had originally planned, but again, I'll get into that in a bit more detail later. Now for the lowlights. Virgil's three-pointer. At least he got his DEFCON points, but honestly, Liverpool's defending is just so bad right now. I'll likely hold Virgil for the next 3 fixtures, but I do wonder if Gabriel to Timber was the move that I should have made. Then I had blanks from all of my attackers, apart from Enzo. Saka getting defensive contributions only was disappointing, considering Arsenal scored 4 goals against Spurs. I will be looking to shake up my team over the coming weeks, and I've got the transfers to do so. But yeah, to only get 1 attacking return from one of my attacking players and to still get a green arrow, can't really complain. How many points did you score in Game Week 12? Drop your score in the comments below. I want to know how your Game Week 12 went. Right, 3 massive takeaways from Game Week 12 that are shaping decisions for the weeks ahead. So first up, Thiago is now a must-buy in Game Week 13. The man registered 1.7 XG in Game Week 12. That's the highest of any player in the game week so far. He was also a missed penalty away from another double-digit haul. Now he's risen in price again to 6.5 million. I actually broke all my own transfer rules and got him in last night, which was Sunday, to avoid that most recent price rise. But I known that I'd been wanting to get rid of Joao Pedro for a long time, so it just felt like it made sense. And with Burnley at home in Game Week 13, expect a big score from Thiago this week. He will be in a lot of free hit teams, so if you're not free hitting, I would really try and prioritise bringing him in if you can. Second, could Cole Palmer be back for Game Week 14? And is Enzo Fernandes a hold until then? So here's what we know. Maresca gave an update ahead of Game Week 12. He said that Cole Palmer was close to a return from his groin injury, but then he went and fractured his toe in a freak accident at home. So Maresca said he's probably not available for Barcelona or then Arsenal in Game Week 13. So Palmer could be back for Game Week 14, but that's a midweek game away at Leeds. So if you look at the time frame, if Maresca knows that Palmer's not going to be available for Arsenal in Game Week 13, that's a 4:30 kickoff on Sunday, November 30th. Game Week 14 is then just 3 days later on Wednesday, December 3rd at 8:15 p.m. So it feels like a bit of a stretch to think that if a player definitely can't feature on Sunday, that he would then possibly go into the starting team on the Wednesday. So what I would probably say is chances are Palmer will play a role in either 14 or 15. Their Game Week 15 fixture isn't that great either. That's away at Bournemouth. So what I would suggest is that Palmer for me is a bit of a wait and see until Game Week 16 for 2 reasons. Chelsea play at home to Everton in game week 16. It gives Palmer some time to return and maybe get some minutes to build up to full fitness. And also in game week 16, we're getting our full 5 free transfers for AFCON. So you could maybe do a bit of movement in your squad to bring Palmer in when we need to use all our free transfers in game week 15. So what I could do is hold Enzo Fernandes during this period as my Chelsea midfield hold position for the next 3 game weeks, and then look to upgrade him when Palmer's back. But that's just a bit of a midterm wait and see. And third, should we all have stuck with double Arsenal defence, even now Gabriel is injured? Arsenal conceded just 0.07 XG against a really poor Spurs side, and they were actually unlucky to not get a clean sheet if it wasn't for a mistake by Zubimendi and quick thinking and a great finish from Richarlison. Hincapié, who came in for Gabriel as the left-sided centre-back, looked really assured, and generally the defence looked good, although to be fair, Spurs didn't really offer much going forward. So it will be very interesting to see how well they play against Bayern Munich in the Champions League this Wednesday night. And obviously you've got Harry Kane returning to play against Arsenal. So let's see how their defence holds up against possibly the best team in Europe. Perhaps the obvious Gabriel replacement for me was Timber or another Arsenal defender, rather than going for Virgil like myself, but I'll talk more about my transfer plans later on. So just a really quick check-in on first half of the season chip strategy. A quick reminder about what's coming up. There's a full round of European fixtures this midweek between game week 12 and 13. So that's all 9 Premier League teams playing over Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday in the Champions League, Europa League and Europa Conference League. Now, my advice is do as I say, not as I do. And my advice would usually always be to hold your transfers until Friday's press conference if you can, particularly if they are few and far between. I felt I could punt and bring Thiago in because I had my full 5 free transfers and that Thiago really is going to be my 8th attacker. So I wouldn't be too concerned if he picked up a freak injury. And also I've got transfers in the bank that I need to use. So be warned as well, the game week 14 is our first midweek round of FPL fixtures. So that will be a Tuesday evening deadline UK time. I will be doing a deadline stream then. It'll probably be 5:30 p.m. UK time on Tuesday, but don't get caught out. Get your team set up straight after game week 13 kicks off in case you forget. And a reminder also to start using your free transfers, as we want to have all our free transfers spent by game week 15, ready for that full top up of 5 free transfers in game week 16 because of AFCON. My player watch list hasn't changed a huge amount from my last video. For goalkeepers, it stays generally the same. Raya is my first choice and the premium pick. If not, Pope or Petrovic. For defenders, Timber is looking a really, really good option now, and I'm really regretting not having him. Him and Saka just look so attacking as a combination, and Timber got one of the assists against Spurs last night. Munoz as well, I have him, and if it was me, I'd be doing everything I could to bring him in. He's so attacking, and he's got routes to points through clean sheets and also attacking returns as well. But to be honest, any Palace defender is a great option. Lacroix, Mitchell, and Richards are all at different price points and are all offering great value. So there are plenty of options in the Palace defence. As for midfielders, I've said it a few times, but I really want a Man United asset. And for me, every week that goes by that I don't bring Mbeumo in, because I know he's off to AFCON, it just means that I'm probably going to get Bruno. Bruno Fernandes for me is the safer option. He's got a lower ceiling, but I just think that he's going to be ticking along. And I'm also not booking in a transfer because he's not going to AFCON. A shout out as well to Gibbs-White. And he's got 3 goals in a row now under Dijk and scored a really great goal at Anfield as well. And yeah, Dijk is really living off that new manager bounce for Forest, and fair play to them. Minteh at Brighton as well got another double-digit haul. He got 11 points and he is a steal at 6.1 million. So a really good budget enabler that I'm also considering for my team. For forwards, both Welbeck and Thiago are doing the business. Either are great options at both at 6.5 million. As you know, I've gone with Thiago, but hey, Welbeck is a good punt as well. Now, when I'm preparing for these videos, this slide is actually one of the most beneficial slides that I find when I'm doing it, because it really makes me plan 4 games in ahead, and it gives me the visibility into those upcoming fixtures, which is something I'm not great at. So I actually really enjoy making these slides for you guys. For me, over the next block of 4 fixtures, my captaincy decisions pick themselves. So I basically flick between Haaland, Saka over the next 4 game weeks. Game week 13, Haaland at home to Leeds, no brainer. Game week 14, Saka versus Brentford at home is a really strong option. I could potentially be tempted, if I own Bruno by game week 14, to put the armband on him, West Ham at home. although West Ham are looking very good under Nuno, another great example of that new manager bounce. Game week 15, it then goes back to Haaland with Sunderland at home, and then game week 16 is Saka versus Wolves at home, and it will definitely be an Arsenal asset because Wolves for me are the whipping boys this season. I really like that those big four decisions are basically concrete in my mind. I don't have to worry about them going into a deadline. I don't have to waste time or mental energy. I can focus more on planning my transfers and planning my team. Now, on that note, as mentioned already, I've already made a transfer, João Pedro to Thiago. I would like Bruno for Man United's home game for West Ham in 14, but I can't afford to do a straight upgrade of Enzo Fernandes to Bruno. I could do either Gakpo, who started and blanked, or Semenyo up to Bruno, but Chelsea's fixtures are tough over the next 5 to 6 game weeks. So potentially selling Enzo Fernandes does make sense, but then he's a great player and could be a good hold with Palmer not being there. So that's a really tough decision. I'm also not prepared to rip up my defence currently. I'm really pleased with my double Palace defence. Senesi, I was going to downgrade Raya before Gabriel got injured, and then I was going to keep Gabriel as my one Arsenal attack. But I also don't want to get rid of Ryan now and have 0 Arsenal defensive cover. So if anything, I may just swallow my Virgil mistake and move him on for Timber next game week. I could then downgrade Raya to Petrovic and then free up some funds that way. But it's kind of moving money around a little bit, so I'm not too sure about that as well. In all likelihood, if push comes to shove, Gakpo is probably going to be the man to make way. Liverpool are not playing well, and even though Gakpo started again, he really didn't offer much. I can then hold Enzo to see what the Palmer update is, or Enzo could become Minteh to free up some cash. I'm also not mad on United's fixture in game week 13 away to Palace. So I could just hold for another game week and then make these moves in game week 14 when Man United have that fixture at West Ham at home. But if I keep rolling my transfers, that's going to put a lot of pressure on my game week 14 and 15 transfer decisions, because I'll basically have 6 free transfers to use in those 2 game weeks. And I'm actually running out of places to spend them, which I know is a really nice problem to have. If it was up to me, I'd give some of them away to you. But I'm going to make a big play in restructuring my team to an optimal setup as I get the AFCON transfer refreshes and we move into the Christmas period. Because I have the free transfers to use, I'm more open to moving Van Dijk to Timber and just sucking up that as a mistake. But I'd rather do that than see a good transfer wasted. What are your planned transfers for the upcoming game weeks? Drop your strategy in the comments below, and I'd love to hear how you're navigating this crazy period. So here we are, the last slide. And again, this slide comes with a really big asterisk to say that we still have the United versus Everton game to go into game week 12 and a full round of midweek fixtures in Europe. So the way my team is set up now is very much subject to change. As mentioned, already done João Pedro to Thiago. That's freed up 1.7 million of budget and has left me with 4 free transfers remaining. I know that there will be a lot of free hit teams played this week, and I'm trying to balance not being knee-jerk in trying to cover those free hit teams whilst also trying to pick good long-term players for my team. I feel like the free hit this week does make a lot of sense, but I would question probably the teams that are going to be targeted wouldn't be great teams. They just have better fixtures. So Brentford, the likes of Aston Villa, who are doing okay. So I will be quite interested to see what most free hit teams would look like. Semenyo is still flagged. And to be honest, if Semenyo stays flagged and doesn't feature, I would be more than happy to see Richards come off my bench again and hopefully bring me some more bench jam. I genuinely back Palace's defence against most teams. Defensively, they actually tend to play better away. But again, Man United could score, they could not. So you never know, there could be another clean sheet. And regarding Semenyo specifically, hopefully Iraola will have more info to share in Friday's press conference, because there are a few rumours swirling about him being unsettled, wanting a move in January, something to do with him getting engaged and proposing. I'm really not quite sure. I'd be quite interested to see if Semenyo features in Game Week 13. As I said, Haaland is my captain pick in Game Week 13. Don't overthink it. Leeds at home, no-brainer. As mentioned, this team may change quite a bit between now and the Game Week 13 deadline, which is later on Saturday afternoon. It's 1:30 p.m. UK time. We don't have a lunchtime kickoff, so the main kickoffs will all be 3 p.m. I will try and do a deadline stream on Saturday, so hopefully I will see you then. So there we have it. Game Week 12 reviewed with 51 points and a green arrow up to 88,000k overall rank at the time of recording. Thiago's in my team, Virgil might be on borrowed time, and my strategy for the next few game weeks is starting to take shape. My approach remains the same. Stay patient, use my free transfers strategically, and trust the process. If you found this video helpful, make sure you're subscribed to FPL Hawley because I make videos like this every single week. Clear strategy, no panic, just smart FPL made simple. Best of luck in Game Week 13.